What is happening, guys? We're going to factor these expressions. To factor them down, that means use the boxes to get it factored down, pulled into parts. But this is going to be a little bit different. First off, get that equals 0 out of there. Okay, I don't need you to solve. I don't need you to find the two answers. Okay, I just want you to get this factored down. And as you can see, there's 3 terms. Something different's going to happen though. Okay, let me get the GCF calculator up on my computer so I can show you guys. Okay, there we go. Okay, now 3 terms, so that's going to be finding the greatest common factor of the 3 terms and making my T box. Okay, so I write GCF equals. Now, first off, the number in front, the 9 is not negative, so we're not going to have a negative. And I have x to the second, I have x to the first, and then 21 doesn't have an x, so I can't really factor out an x. I can't divide by x when not everything has an x. Okay, then I punch those 3 numbers into the GCF calculator. So I go 9, 66, and 21. Those 3 numbers, put commas between them. I hit equals, and it says that GCF equals 3, so this time it does not equal 1. It equals 3. Okay, so since it equals 3, I need to put 3 out here, put a parentheses around it, and then divide these all by 3. Not 3x, so just 3. So I take 9 divided by 3, and that gives me 3. And then that x to the second, I don't have an x down here, so that x stays to the second power. Then I take negative 66 divided by 3. That gives me negative 22, okay? So you got negative 22, so just put minus 22. And that x stays to the first power, okay? Then I take positive 21 divided by positive 3, and that's 7. Now that 7's positive, so it's a plus 7. Okay, now we go to our table, but here's what I want you to do. I want you to cross these 3 out because they've been divided, and then the A, B, C takes place from here. So I connect the A to the C, put a times dot. So I'm no longer look up there. I take positive 3 times positive 7. That's 21. Now it's positive 21. So the operation, since it's positive, is add. I'm trying to get these to add to 22. 22 being negative, okay? Okay, so I put 1 and 21, and add them. 21 plus 1 is 22, so it's these numbers right here, okay? Now we sign the numbers. Now 22 is negative, so I know 21 has to be negative. We have a positive up there, so the signs have to be the same, okay? So they both be negatives. Okay, now I make my parentheses. What does the A equal? The A, remember, the A is not 9. The A is 3x to the second. So since the A is 3x to the second, it's not a 1, okay? I make 2 lines of parentheses. Okay, and then 3, so 3x, 3x, and then the minus 1 and the minus 21. Okay, now I see what these have in common that I could divide by, so 3 and 1. That's 1, okay? So I divide by 1, and that just keeps it the same, 3x minus 1. And then 3 and 21. And I get 3, okay? So then that means I need to divide these by 3. Okay, so remember, 3 divided by 3 is 1, x. And then negative 21 divided by 3 is negative 7, so I put the 7 and then just put a minus, okay? Now, this is where we can stop, but there's one thing. I want you to go up in that GCF box, and that 3 in parentheses that you have out there, you need to put that down with your other 2 parentheses, okay? And that's the end. 3 times 3x minus 1 times 1x minus 7. Okay, next problem. Get the equals 0 out. The only time that's valuable is if I'm finding the two answers. So there's 3 terms. So I go GCF. GCF equals. And I go ahead and make my T box. Okay, in the GCF here, we don't have a negative. We have x of second, we have x of first, but no x on the -4, so I can't do x. And so now I'm going to actually punch in 6, 10, and 4. Okay, now those have a GCF of 2, so since it's not a 1, so if it's not a 1, I want to actually do this because then it changes. Okay, so I divide 6 by 2, that's 3. And the x to the second stays on the 3 because we're not dividing by x. Okay, when we're dividing by x, we have to subtract powers and cross out, but that's not happening here. Then I take -10 divided by 2, -5, so I put a 5 down with a minus sign. And that x stays to the first. Then I take -4 divided by 2, and that's -2, so I put a 2 and then a minus in front of it because it was negative. Okay, now we have to cross this out because I don't want to confuse myself. And then I take the a times the c for my table, okay, the AC method. So +3 times -2 is -6. So I got 6, but this time it's negative. So instead of adding, we're going to minus to come to 5. 5 is negative. Okay, so 6 divided by 1 is 6. And what's 6 minus 1? That's 5. Okay, so I want to use this. 5's negative, so that means the 6 there is negative. We have a negative here, so the signs have to be the opposite. So +1 minus 6. Now our a here, a again up there is 3x to the second. So with a being 3 like it is, and not a 1, we need 2 lines of parentheses. Okay, so 3. So 3x, 3x, +1 minus 6. So I divide 3 and 1 if I can. So 3 and 1 gives you 1. Okay, so if it's 1, you can divide by 1, but it's just going to keep it the same. It will remain unchanged. Okay, now 3 and 6 gives me 3, so I want to divide these by 3. Now remember, this is not 0. 3 divided by 3 is 1, okay? X, and then -6 divided by 3 is -2, so it's going to be 2 with a minus. Okay, I like to put the dot there. Now, I should have put a parentheses around that 2. So that parentheses with the 2 just gets carried down, okay? Now it's been broken into all of its factors. Okay, next problem. Equals 0 goes. Okay, so GCF, again, all these have 3 terms. If they're just only 2 terms, you just make this, okay, and do that. You would not make a T-chart. You wouldn't be able to. So GCF, you don't have it, the 8's not negative, so the GCF can't be negative. We have x second, x1, and then 84 doesn't have an x, so we leave that empty. And I punch in 8, 68, 84. Okay, I got 4 as my GCF. So 4 comes out, parenthesize it. But remember, we're dividing by 4, not 4x. So 8 divided by 4, that gives me 2, and then the x to the second stays. Positive 68 divided by 4 is 17, so that would be a 17 with a plus sign, but the x to the first stays. And then I take 84 divided by 4, and that's 21. It's positive, so a plus with it. Okay, now get rid of this, and now the ABC takes place here, because now the numbers aren't as high. Okay, that helps me out with my T-chart. Because if I ABC up here and take 8 times 84, that's a huge number. Now I can take 2 times 21, and you get positive 42. So 42 positive. So the operation was to add, and we need to add to 17, which is positive. Okay, so 1 and 42. 42 plus 1 is not 17, so I got to keep going. 42 divided by 2 is 21, so I put the 2 and the 21. Okay, 21 plus 2 is 23. 42 divided by 3 is 14, so we have 3, 14. 14 plus 3 is 17, okay? So these are your 2, and 17 is positive, meaning 14 is positive, and we have a positive on 42, so the signs have to be the same, okay? They need to multiply to positive 42, and they have to add to positive 17. Now, A, this is why you cross this out, because your A up here is 2x to the second. Okay, so I put 2x from here, okay? And then plus 3 plus 14. Again, you have to go down because this times this should equal 2x to the second. 2 times 2 is not 2. Okay, so 2 and 3. I got 1 as my GCF. So that's 2x plus 3. It stays the same. And then 2 and 14 give me 2. Okay, so we divide by 2, and that's 1x plus 7. Okay, because you're dividing these down by 2. And now, what's 2 times 1? This times this should be the same as this one. 2 times 1 is 2, and x times x is x second, okay? Because if you did the rainbows, you need to end up here. Now, you do have this 4 here. And that's also a factor, okay? Okay, next problem. 24x second, 96x of first, and 90. I don't want to deal with the equals 0 today. Okay, the set and all that crap. Okay, so table GCF equals. Okay, so GCF, we don't have the negative. We don't have x on every number. And then, so now I want to see 24, 96, and 90. Okay, I got a 6 for a GCF. Okay, so I need to divide these all by 6. Just 6, though. Okay, you don't put the x with the 6 because that doesn't have x. Any of these numbers is missing an x, you can't do x right there. Okay, so I'll be dividing 24 by 6, getting 4, and the x to the second is now connected to the 4. I divide positive 96 by 6, and I get 16, so it's 16 with a plus sign. Then x to the first. Then I take positive 90 divided by 6, I get 15. Put a plus sign with it because it's positive. This is now deleted. Now I take A, B, C. So when I take A times C, I'm taking positive 4 times positive 15. Give me 60 positive, okay? So we're going to add, and we're trying to add to get 16. So 16 is positive, so plus 16. Okay, so 1 and 60 does not add to 16. Okay, 60 divided by 2 is 30. So 30 plus 2 is not 16. 3 and 20. 20 plus 3 is 23. You're getting it closer at least. 60 divided by 15, so 4 and 15. Okay, 15 plus 5 plus 15, 4 plus 15 is 19. Okay, now by 5 and 12. Now we're really close, okay? 12 plus 5 is 17, okay? So can't be that. I'll try 6. 10, so 6 and 10. What's 10 plus 6? 16. So we use these. 10's plus. Then a positive means the signs have to be the same. So it's plus 6 plus 10. Now a is equal to 4x to the second. Okay. We're going to make 2 parentheses. Okay, so I go 4, x, and then plus 6, plus 10. Okay, now we try to divide these down. So 4 and 6 is 2. Okay, so that means divide by 2, and that's 2x plus 3. Then 4 and 10 gives me 2. Okay, so 4 divided by 2 is 2x, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. You're just cutting the number in half when you divide by 2. Okay, then we take this 6, bring it down here. That's your factorization right there. Okay. Next problem. 6x second, 57x to the first, and 72. So to factor that expression, GCF, that's going to be a tight fit. That's okay. Just got to write smaller. Okay, so the GCF, 6 is not negative. X on everything. See, now this isn't that hard because I've been having you make the GCF boxes all the time, okay? There's a reason for everything. So I go 6, 57, and 72, and I get 3. So GCF's 3. So 3 is factored out, and then I go up and divide. It's like the opposite of the rainbows. That's what this whole thing is. 6 divided by 3 is 2. It's like I'm taking this and pulling it into parts. So that's 2x to the second. And take your positive 57 divided by 3, 19. It's positive, so 19 gets a plus, but the x to the first stays. And then positive 72 divided by 3 is 24. So it's 24, and that gets a plus sign. Now this is gone. And now I have a new ABC with smaller numbers. Okay, so I take positive 2 times positive 24, and that's 48. Positive 48. Okay, positive, so that means you're going to add, and you're trying to add to 19, which is positive. Okay, 1 and 48, that's obviously doesn't add to 19. Divide by 2, you get 24. That's not 19. 3 and 16. Okay, that adds to 19, so it's these two. Okay, now 19 being positive like it is makes 16 positive, and this is the same, so plus. Okay, so A is equal to 2x to the second. Okay, so if A is 2, we're making 2 sets of parentheses. Okay, so 2 and 2, x and x, plus 3, plus 16. Okay, now 2 and 3. What should we divide 2 and 3 down by? 1. Okay, so again, dividing by 1, I just copy down what I have because it's not going to change it. Times, and this is better changed. They both, if you have 4 so 2 and 16 is 2. Okay, 2 divided by 2 is 1, and and then positive 16 divided by positive 2 gives me 8. Okay, so 2x plus 3 times 1x plus 8, and bring that 3 down. Look up in your GCF box, because this, see, the 3 stays because this has been rewritten as this. This rainbows out to these 3 fat terms, okay? And then the 3 has been divided out. Okay, next one. 20x to the second minus 45x to the first plus 10. GCF, okay? GCF, negative front, nope. Do all your numbers contain x? Nope, 10 doesn't, so we can't put x down there. Okay, so 20, 45, and 10. Gives me 5 GCF. Okay, so 5. So we bring out 5. And we put 5 underneath all these. So 20 divided by 5 is 4. X to the second stays. Negative 45 divided by 5 is negative 9. So it's I put 9 with a minus sign, and the x to the first stays. Then positive 10 divided by 5 is 2. So I put a 2 with a positive, and that's good. Now delete this. We don't need that anymore because we have a smaller ABC, okay? Smaller trinomial. So I take positive 4 times positive 2, and that gives me 8. Now 8 being positive means I'm adding to 9, and 9's negative. So 8 divided by 1's 8, and 8 plus 1's 9. Now 9 being negative like it is means 8's negative, okay? And then having a positive here means the signs have to be the same, so they would both be negative. Okay, so we have A. So A is going to be 4 with x to the second. Okay, so I need 2 sets. And then we go 4, 4, x, x, and then 1 and 8, and both of those are negatives, so they're both minus. Okay. All right, so 4 and 1. So 4 comma 1 is 1. Okay. So that becomes 4x, stays the same. Okay. 4 and 8 then, the GCF out of those two is 4. Okay, so divide these down by 4, and that becomes 1x, and then negative 8 divided by 4 is going to be negative 2, so it's 2 with a minus. And we bring that 5 down here. Okay. Okay, so there we have it. Okay, last two. 12x to the second, that's a plus 20x. It's not a negative there, okay? It's a little speck mark from the copy paper. Then minus 8. So the greatest common factor. So the GCF negative, not going to happen. You have second, first, and nothing, okay? We're going to go with 12, 20, and 8. Okay, it gives me 4. Okay, so 4 has been factored out. Now I go up and divide by 4. Now divide 12 by 4, you get 3, x to the second. Then I take positive 20, 20 is positive, divided by 4, that's 5, okay? So it's positive, so plus 5, and that'd be x to the first. And then I take negative 8 divided by 4, and I get negative 2, so it's 2, put a minus, okay? This is now forgotten. A, B, C, okay? So I will be multiplying positive 3 times negative 2, and that's negative 6. The purpose of factoring is trying to break the expression down so you can see the parts that can get you the answers, okay? Okay, so minus is where we're going, and the minus has to equal 5, 5 being the b, okay? 1 and 6. 6 minus 1 is 5, so we have it. 5 plus, so 6 is plus. And a negative means the signs have to be the opposite, because the only way something multiplies to negative is if you're multiplying two different signs. So my a here is equal to 3x to the second. So it's not a 1, so I need two groups. So I go 3, x, minus 1 plus 6. Okay, so 3 and 1 is 1, okay? All right, so that'll be 3x. It just stays minus 1. Cross that out. And then 3 and 6 is 3. Okay. So I divide by 3, and that becomes 1x. Positive 6 divided by positive 3 is 2. Now, positive 2 means it would be a plus sign. Bring that 4 down. Don't forget that. 4 times 3x minus 1 times 1x plus 2. Okay, last one. 8x second plus 34x of first minus 30. Okay, so the greatest common factor, that's what a GCF stands for. You don't have a negative in front. You don't have x on everything. 8, 34, and 30. Give me 2. Okay, so 2 is a GCF. So 2 is factored out, and we divide everything by 2. It means cut everything in half. Now that's 4. The x to the second stays. Positive 34 divided by positive 2 is 17. Okay, so plus 17, x to the first. And last, I take negative 30 divided by 2, and that's negative 15. So 15, since it's negative, it'll be minus. Okay, so A times C. So positive 4 times negative 15 is 60 negative. So 60 being negative like it is, meaning it means I will minus to get 17. 17's positive, okay? And now I begin. So 1 and 60. 60 minus 1 is not 17. Now 2. 2 and 30. 30 minus 2 is not 17, still high. 60 divided by 3 is 20. The numbers always start off higher than what you want. Now, 20 minus 3 is 17, so we go with this. 17's positive makes 20 positive, and having a negative up there means the signs have to be the opposite. Okay, so my A is equal to, well, I should have deleted that. Okay. So, because otherwise I'm going to think my A is 8, and it's not, it's 4. Okay. Okay, so A is 4, x, then minus 3, and plus 20. Okay, so 4 and 3. Have a GCF of just 1, so, okay. So that's 4x minus 3. 4 and 20 is 4. And that 4 divided by 4 is 1x, and then positive 20 divided by 4 is 5. Okay. So that's what we have. Remember to bring your factor of 2 down. Okay. All right, thanks for your work on that. Then tomorrow we're going to learn something new, like totally new. And it's a little actually less time consuming than that was. Okay, thanks.